This happened a couple of years ago, during the holiday season when the air was crisp and the twinkling lights adorned every house on the block. So, picture this, it's Christmas Eve and I'm home alone. The family's out at a neighbour's party and I decided to skip it, opting for a cozy night in. I had the whole house to myself, or so I thought. I'm sitting by the fireplace, sipping on some hot cocoa, and the glow of the Christmas tree lights is casting a warm and inviting atmosphere. The carolers outside are singing Silent Night, and everything seems perfect until the power goes out. Now, I'm not a stranger to a good power outage, but on Christmas Eve, come on, I grab my phone. Using its dim light to navigate through the darkened house, the carolers outside are still singing, blissfully unaware of the eerie silence that has settled inside. As I'm fumbling around, I hear a soft rustle. Like the jingle of bells, I figure it's just the wind outside. But then I notice something odd, a shadow in the corner of the room. I glance over, and there's a figure standing there, barely illuminated by the moonlight filtering through the curtains. "Who's there?" I call out, my voice trembling. No response. The figure remains still, almost blending into the darkness. My heart starts doing a marathon, and I tell myself it's just my imagination playing tricks. I decide to shake it off, head to the kitchen for a flashlight. But as I round the corner, the figure is there again, this time, closer. It's wearing a tattered Santa suit, and the dim light reveals a face that's anything but jolly. My breath catches in my throat. I blink, and it's gone. I rub my eyes, thinking I've had too much cocoa, but the unease lingers. I decide to call the family, tell them to wrap up the party and come home. As I'm on the phone, the Christmas tree lights flicker back to life. Strange, but maybe the power is coming back. Just as I'm about to hang up, I hear a faint sound of child's laughter. The thing is, I don't have any kids. I freeze, staring at the tree, and then it hits me. The ornaments are swaying, not like they've been touched, but like someone brushed past them. I turn, and there it is, the figure, right behind me. This time, it's not a shadow, it's real, and its eyes meet mine. My scream echoes through the house as I stumble back. The Christmas lights explode in a burst of sparks, plunging the room into darkness once more. I'm alone, trembling in the blackness, and the laughter is now a haunting echo. I reach for my phone, and the flashlight reveals an empty room. No Santa figure, no laughter, just the cold air of an empty house. The family arrives shortly after, finding me huddled by the tree. The remnants of a Christmas that went from festive to freaky. They laugh it off, blame it on my overactive imagination, but I know what I saw. As the carolers outside continue their rendition of Silent Night, I can't help but shiver. Christmas, the season of joy, took a detour into the shadows that night, leaving me with a chilling tale that I'll never forget. This happened a few winters ago, on a quiet Christmas Eve, when the world was wrapped in a serene blanket of snow. Our family tradition was to spend the holidays at our cozy cabin, nestled in the woods, away from the hustle and bustle of the city. It was our slice of seasonal serenity. Decorations adorned the cabin, and the scent of freshly baked cookies filled the air. Little did we know, this Christmas would be different. As the night settled in, we gathered by the fireplace, sharing stories and laughter. The warmth inside sharply contrasted with the chill outside. That's when it started, a distant melody, a Christmas carol softly sung by an unseen person. Now, being miles away from the nearest neighbor, this unexpected carol raised eyebrows. The voice grew louder, captivating yet mysterious. Intrigued, we all got dressed to investigate the noise. Bundling up in scarves and coats, our breath visible in the cold air, armed with flashlights, we ventured into the snowy night. Following the enchanting sound, our footprints left a trail in the fresh snow. As we moved deeper into the woods, the crunching beneath our boots echoed in the quiet night. The carol guided us to a small clearing, where the singing ceased, leaving only the rustling of the winter wind. As we stood there, the unseen caroller resumed. Weaving a haunting melody through the trees, we scanned the surroundings, expecting to see a person, but nothing revealed itself. The carol seemed to emanate from the very air around us. An uneasy feeling settled in. The unknown singer hiding in the shadows, we called out, asking who they were and why they were here. The response was the continuation of the mysterious carol, the voice dancing between the trees. The snowflakes fell in a hypnotic dance, adding to the eerie atmosphere. As we retreated back to the cabin, the haunting melody followed us. Echoing through the snow-covered woods, fear clawed at us. Each step quickening as the carol intensified. Back inside, we huddled by the fireplace, trying to shake off the paralyzing unease. Suddenly, a sharp rap on the door shattered the fragile peace. With trepidation, we opened the door to find the unknown caroller, a frightening figure clad in tattered clothing, his face obscured in shadows. Fear gripped us as he advanced, his eyes reflecting an unholy madness. Panic set in, and we slammed the door shut. But the man persisted, his voice now a guttural growl. Desperation fueled our flight, and we fled into the woods. The unknown caroller in relentless pursuit. Snow crunched beneath our desperate strides. As the man's chilling laughter echoed through the night, we reached our car, started the engine, and, in a frenzy, speeded away. We returned later, but the mysterious caroller had vanished. After that night, we sold the cabin, never daring to return. The haunting melody lingered, a chilling reminder of that Christmas Eve nightmare. The cabin passed into new hands, leaving us with a tale of terror that still haunts our silent nights. This happened a few Christmases ago. When I was still living in my old apartment, it all started innocently enough, with the twinkling lights and the scent of pine in the air, but soon, the holiday cheer turned into a nightmare. It was a chilly December night, and I was cozied up on my couch, sipping hot cocoa and enjoying the glow of my Christmas tree. The apartment was quiet, except for the occasional rustle of wrapping paper as I tackled the last of my gift wrapping. Little did I know, the true horror was about to be unveiled. As the clock struck midnight, I heard a faint scratching sound coming from underneath the tree. Now, I had no pets, and the building was secure, so the idea of a critter sneaking in seemed far-fetched. But there it was, a subtle, eerie scratching that sent shivers down my spine. I dismissed it as my imagination playing tricks on me, and continued with my evening, but the scratching persisted, growing louder and more insistent. At this point, I was convinced there was something sinister lurking beneath the tree. With cautious steps, I approached, my heart pounding in my chest. As I bent down to inspect, the scratching ceased. Everything was still for a moment, and then, with a sudden jolt, the tree shook violently, ornaments clattering to the floor. I stumbled back in shock, the hot cocoa staining the carpet as I tried to comprehend the inexplicable. Fear gripped me, but curiosity got the better of my instincts. I knelt down, peering into the shadows under the tree. What I saw sent a chill down my spine, a pair of gleaming eyes staring back at me. Panic set in, and I fumbled for the light switch, revealing a sight that would haunt my dreams. Underneath the tree wasn't a creature, but a figure, shrouded in tattered clothing, their eyes hollow and vacant. Before I could react, a guttural growl escaped their lips, and they lunged at me. I recoiled, stumbling over the fallen ornaments as the intruder knocked me over, then suddenly vanished. Shaken and terrified, I called the police. Recounting the bizarre incident, they searched my apartment, finding nothing but a mess of shattered ornaments and a lingering sense of dread. They assured me It was probably a vagrant seeking shelter, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more sinister at play. Days passed, and the incident faded into a traumatic memory. I thought I could put it behind me, but as Christmas morning arrived, the terror returned. I opened my door to find a beautifully wrapped gift on my doorstep. Intrigued yet cautious, I unwrapped it to find a framed photo of myself, taken from that fateful night. It hit me like a ton of bricks. The true horror wasn't the figure under the tree. It was the realization that they knew me, that they had been watching, and that the nightmare had only just begun. So, folks, as you trim your trees and exchange gifts this holiday season, remember that sometimes the scariest things can lurk right under the twinkling lights, unveiling holiday horrors that you never saw coming.